Hello and welcome to another episode in the Godot Basics tutorial series. In this episode, we will be taking a look at endianness. Before we begin, let's talk about memory location. So when talking about memory location, we generally mean that one memory location or basic storage unit stores 1 byte, which again is 8 bits. Now let's take a look at endianness. Endianness means the order or sequence of bytes in computer memory. There are two types of endianness, big endian or little endian. Now, big endian means the most significant byte of digital data is at the smallest memory address, and the least significant byte is at the largest memory address. Little endian is basically the polar opposite of big endian. When referring to little endian, what we mean is that the least significant byte of digital data is at the smallest memory address, and the most significant byte is at the largest memory address. Before taking a look at endianness, let's go ahead and take a look at the value we will be using in the example. So in this case, imagine we have a variable x which is equal to the value 1,048,576. You can also think of that as 2 to the power of 20. And the hexadecimal representation is down here, which is represented by 0x100000. One thing we didn't go over in the last episode that I want to quickly go over in this episode is that the prefix is 0x is just computer science notation that the value in front of it is a hexadecimal value. So as an example up here, since we're not using the 0x prefix, we can make the assumption that this value is in fact not a hexadecimal value, but instead a decimal value. But no matter what, the decimal value up here is the same as the hexadecimal value down here. And on top of that, I also have the binary representation of our hexadecimal as well. As you can see here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. And as you can see here, we have their binary form representation, which again, each hexadecimal value is 4 bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 1 up here. Again, keep in mind that 2 hexadecimal values make up 1 byte. And in this example, we'll be looking over a value that is 3 bytes long. Now, normally when dealing with integers, we're either assigning 4 bytes in memory or 2 bytes in memory, depending. But for this example, just to keep things simple, we're going to forego looking at 4 bytes, and instead we'll just be looking at 3 bytes and how it would be placed in memory. The next thing I want to talk about is bit order. Now, you have your least significant bit, which means that when that bit has the value of 1, it represents a small value. And our least significant bit in this example is the very first bit. The value it represents is just 1. Compare that to the bit all the way towards the left side of this example, and that would be our most significant bit. And when this is 1, that value becomes 2 to the power of 23. Now, lastly, I want to talk about bytes. So we have 3 bytes, one in blue, one in orange, and the last in white. To determine which byte is the least significant byte, you got to look at which byte houses the lowest exponent for the 2 value. So in this case, 0 is the lowest possible exponent for our 2. And because this byte contains the lowest possible exponent, we call this the least significant byte. Towards the left, with our byte again being in white, towards the furthest on the left, this bit represents 2 to the power of 23. 23 being the highest possible exponent possible for our 2. And because this byte contains the highest possible exponent, we call this byte the most significant byte. And everything else in between is just in a spectrum. I'm going to show you an example of big and little endian in regards to this hexadecimal value, which again represents something in binary form. When dealing with any type of endian, we have to remember that we're storing data in memory. Your computer has memory, RAM, for example. And whether it's an application like Safari or your Godot application where you're running your game, your computer needs to allocate memory to data. And remember that each memory location can only hold up to 1 byte. But sometimes your data needs more than 1 byte to represent some type of data. but again, your memory location can only support 1 byte at a time. So in this case, we have memory address 012 just to make it easier for us. And 0 is our first memory address location, and 2 being the furthest. And again, when dealing with little endian, we want the least significant byte at the smallest memory address, and we would like the largest byte, which again is the most significant byte, at the largest memory address possible. And so if we were to take away our binary value and place each byte at a memory address location, as you can see here, our least significant byte is at the lowest memory address. Our second least significant byte follows up next, and our most significant byte is at the largest memory address. Now, let's go ahead and compare that to big endian. Now, remember that when dealing with big endian, our most significant byte will be at the lowest memory address, which in this case is 0, and the least significant byte will be at the largest memory address possible. And so if we were to plug in our hexadecimal values in the big endian order, what we get is that our, again, most significant byte is at the lowest memory address possible, and the least significant byte is at the largest memory address possible. Now, the easiest way to remember the order of bytes is that when dealing with little endian byte order, the little end starts first. And when dealing with big endian, the big value starts first. Now, no matter what our byte order is, our value will still be the same. And so a big part of endian is that as long as we are consistent, it should not matter how we are ordering things in memory address. Now, endianness can get quite complex, so we won't go into a lot of detail, but your computer will either be big endian, little endian, or they can run both types, but they can only run one type at a time. And so you do have a problem. How do you convert data from big endian to little endian? And well, if using different CPU architectures, you will have to do some type of conversion. And this also applies to things such as networking. We call this serialization. So what exactly is serialization? Well, serialization is the process of converting an object, basically a data object, into a stream of bytes to store that object to memory, a database, or a file. And since we will be dealing with the file class, let's go ahead and just do a quick and basic summary of serialization. So serialization is quite a simple process. Basically, you have your data object, turn it into a stream of bytes, and then you just populate either memory, a database, or file. And the idea of serialization is important because when you serialize something, for example, when you take your variable x, which equals 42, and you serialize that data into a text file, you do have the ability to store it in any type of order you want. And so the order you store it in plays an important role because when another operating system reads from it, for example, they may read it in an order that it was never intended to be read from. For example, if you write your variable which equals 42 into a file, but you use big endian ordering, and yet someone else reads from that file using little endian ordering, you'll get different results. And so the way you store data and the way you order your bytes and bits plays an important role. Well, that's all I have for you in this episode. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for clicking the like button, and thank you for clicking the subscribe button. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comments section down below. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Have an amazing day.